Hi there, we're going to go to a couple Goodwills today. The first one is my favorite Goodwill, and on an end cap near the basket display, they had a whole bunch of religious figurines and doodahs and all kinds of things. So I do sell religious items, and I looked through to see if there was anything that I liked that I thought someone else might also like. I like to sell Mary planters. The Jesus plaque was kind of falling, but it didn't break. It reminded me of a chimney flue cover. I'm not sure if it was because most times I've seen chimney flue covers, they have a chain on them and that had a cord. It might have been. But then I noticed next to the Jesus plaque that there was a Lady of Lourdes plaque. And this looked vintage to me. The style of it looked like the 60s, 70s, in my opinion. So I decided to take that. Unfortunately, Mary had a chip on her nose. I'm not quite sure why she was in the bag. And then this little ballerina was very pretty. I thought about getting her, but I just decided to admire her instead. I think I would have gotten her if the left-in sticker said made in Japan, but it did not. So just checking out the rest of the Mary figurines, that doesn't count. They're not praying together, they're just holding the flower. I don't know if it was somebody's collection. I'm not quite sure. And then always checking to see if the crosses or the crucifixes are last rites. I do try to time it to go to Goodwill when they're restocking, and they're usually restocking late morning, early afternoon. So here was a fresh bin. Jenny is with me along with her good friend Madeline. And so they were walking around looking at books and movies and egging me on to hurry up. No, they were very good. I didn't think this had any chips to it, but when I turned, there were chips to the pink rose, which is a shame because I almost got that until I turned it and saw that the pink rose was chipped. Those are always chipped up. There was a lot of wear to the Mary figurine here, so I did not get it. It was a good price though. I am going to zoom the camera around here real quick, so hold on. Madeline and Jenny are watching me. There's Madeline and Jenny, and then Madeline wanted to do a little jig. And then they had a bag of figurines, and you always have to look in there. Those were also religious figurines, but they were plastic, so I left those on the shelf.
You know the goal, but you have to flesh it out. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Jenny, look. Look. It's the 12 days of Christmas. That's kind of cool. I really like the style of that platter, so in the cart it went, and then we're looking at the red and pink section. This was a hobbyist piece for Easter eggs. The little chick did have a chip, a noticeable chip on its beak, so I did leave that there. Stepping back to give you a look at the shelves, and then I saw this in the brown section. It's a very pretty vase. It has a marking on the bottom of it. It's very thick, and it reminds me of a flower, kind of like a calla lily. So I decided to get that, and here was a celery dish. It was very pretty. I did like the pattern on it, but those aren't really high sellers for me, so I did leave that for somebody else. It's amazing all the different patterns they had on the older china. Like this pattern here, I thought this was pretty. Isn't that neat how it has the green and then the flower on it? I thought that was unusual and very nice. I looked for a marking on this because I thought it was nicely made, and then I thought, well, maybe it's on the side, and I didn't see any marking on that. I did leave that there. These were very bright, those little houses. Oh, here was another made in Japan. I don't like filming the top shelves because then you catch people's faces. So then this was a hand-painted tray, and I asked the girls their opinion on it, and they agreed that it was a moth, but that it was neat. So I decided to go with their opinion and put it in the cart. This, I thought that someone had taken older images and decoupaged it onto this more contemporary mug stand, because the mug stand was in really, really good condition. And when I had flipped it over on, looked at it on the bottom, it looked newer and in really good condition. Could be completely wrong, and that was worth a lot of money because it was from the 1940s, but I will take my chances. I thought these plates were neat. If they had been bundled together, I probably would have gotten them, but they were individually priced. So I think I would have been $12 just to start. And I don't have a lot of room to hold on to plates, so I left those here, there. But wait, look at the guess the price on this thing. It's crazy. Jewel horses. Oh gosh, $29.99. I don't think so. I definitely would have picked it up if it was $2.99 or even $4.99. And the last thing I found was this when we were checking out. And now we're going to go to another Goodwill. I was on my way to meet Jocelyn, and I had some time before we were supposed to meet up with each other, and I stopped off at the Goodwill in Lancaster. This is the one that I've kind of started putting back in my rotation. I don't pick up very much here, but I think the items that I do pick up were nice. These bowls had, I think the brand name was Signature on them. They appeared to be in good condition, and I did like how they all had different patterns to them, but I decided to leave them there. They were only $4.99 for 4. These were candle holders, and then the lighting got really weird, and then I had to adjust the lighting, so I apologize. Again, my lighting was really bright, so I apologize that it's very bright and then dark and then regular. I didn't know what this was. Is this a lamp? Is it a fountain? It kind of looks like a lamp, but then when I tip it over, $2.99. Oh, it was a fountain. A working fountain. Little wheel there. Checking out the boxes. You never know what's in the boxes. Those were some glasses. And then I'm trying to pan away from the shelves so you can see what's on the shelves. And then on the back wall, I spied this tin, and I really like the colors on it. And when I flipped it over, it said Made in Holland. And the colors have little bumps. It has like a texture to it. I thought it was very, very pretty. It was probably, I would guess, a sewing caddy or a candy dish, a candy tin at one time. Or maybe it was for cookies, I don't know. But it does show a little bit of wear, but I thought overall that was a really pretty tin. And then I looked on the rest of the shelves here. This, I think, is what you put over your soap, like at your kitchen sink, because I've sold something similar to this before, where it's a little decorative piece. I could be completely wrong. Please let me know if you're like, no, that's not what that's for. That's a pot holder. I think it might be a pot holder, but I think it might also be a decorative piece. These butter molds I thought were really neat. You could also hang them on a wall. And I liked how it was marked on the back of the one, so I knew exactly what it was. If only all the items, all the vintage items were marked that way, it'd be so much easier. They have Christmas out all year round, and here's the Christmas aisle. I had changed the settings on my phone to put steady on or steady something or other, and then it made the footage kind of jump because it's trying to be smooth. So I apologize here if all of a sudden it's choppy. And then I realized this looks really choppy and I turned it off. So this wasn't the greatest film. A year later, you think I would be not playing with my camera while filming. So I do apologize for the brightness and the little choppiness here. I'm a work in progress. See how it's a little slow. This, I looked to see if this was fused glass, Strident Striker, or the Kern, but I could not find a signature on it, and it didn't have that thickness of it. It looked like it had been painted on the back of it, so I did leave that there. Those signatures are sometimes hard to find. You have to put them up to the light, and then all of a sudden they pop out at you. So now the footage is back. The camera is back to normal. This was really neat. I believe that it was marked. I think I saw the marking said 1972 on it. I'm not quite sure what you would do with it because it was full of all those holes, but I thought it was pretty artsy. And here we are just checking out the rest of the shelves. The footage here is a little bit blurry, but I'm trying to walk away and walk further away and walk along so you could see what is on the shelf. It's kind of a hodgepodge of things. Here was a different bowl. This was Ooh La La. And then on an end cap, they had kind of a beach theme or shore theme going on. This was a fish, and I've sold these kind of figurines or paperweights before, but it looked like the fish had a beak. It looked like a duck fish. So I did leave that there, and then on the bottom I was seeing what this was. It was a planter, but I thought it was more contemporary. But behind it was a glass figurine of two dolphins on a frosted glass wave. I thought that was pretty. And there weren't any chips or cracks to it, so that was kind of a little miracle in itself. I found this desk for probably an American Girl doll. I was looking to see if this was made by the Pleasant Company or American Girl Doll Company. I didn't see any stickers. Usually they just have stickers, but I thought the quality of it was a little bit rough, so I would have guessed that it was not made by American Girl. I have sold that desk before. They're a little bit bulky to ship, but they do sell for good money. And we're going to wrap up our trip here to the second Goodwill. Okay, we are back with the last installment of our Pets as People. And we have Charlie. Jenny, tell us a little bit about Charlie.
So he is the loudest, which makes sense. A lot of Pomeranians are skittish and loud.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlie is, how old is he?
He's a little bit younger than Barney, so he's 7, almost 8 years old. And wouldn't you say he's the leader of the pack?
Leader of the pack, even though he's
the smallest.
Almost the small, because Susie's bigger than him. I think.
Yes. So what was your inspiration for drawing Charlie?
Well, since he's brown.
Yep, he's a chocolate pom.
He has brown skin.
Uh-huh. And anything else before we reveal?
You might notice in his face, well, it looks lighter, but it's like kind of a gray in his nose. So he has two gray curls in the hair.
Yeah. And why is that?
Because he has a little gray on his.
Yeah, because the older he gets, the more gray he gets. He has a gray muzzle, and it's going into his beard and then on his legs a little bit. So he has a little touch of gray. So are you ready for the reveal?
Yep.
All right, here we go. There he is.
There you
All
go.
Right, it got a little bright there, but still in focus. All right, so this is Charlie. And let's start. There's his curly hair.
It's
right. Let's focus it here. There we go. There's his curly hair and the little touch of gray. And what is on his... Oh, and he's wearing a sweatsuit. Why?
Because he never stays still. He's literally a squirrel.
Yes, he moves back and forth. When he was little and we were crate training him, he would pace back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And even when the piano teacher comes over, all the other dogs have to go to the kitchen. But Charlie can be with us because he'll just pace.
He's smallest.
Well, and he'll just pace. He'll just pace. So, and what do you have on his sweatshirt?
A megaphone. Because he's loud.
Right, and that's the little yellow lines coming out, right? He's yelling at him. So if the other dogs are playing, Charlie is either cheerleading them or yelling at them. We haven't figured it out yet. I guess we'd be happier to say he's just cheering them on, right? So what are his likes?
Being loud and following Barney because he always follows Barney.
Yes, he and Barney are very bonded. They are, they like being close to each other all the time. So he does like following Barney around. And his dislikes?
Being quiet and being in one spot because of the skittish thing.
Yes, so he does like to always be on the move.
So with Susie, we said that we were going to explain why he was called the tissue raccoon.
Oh, yes.
So when I was younger, I'm not sure when, but when I was younger, when I got sick, I put my tissues in a trash can that was downstairs. It's small and...
It's an open trash can.
It's an open trash can. So then we caught Charlie one day trying to get the tissues. So I just called him Tissue Raccoon.
Right. So whenever we come home and there's something out of that trash can...
Probably Charlie or Susie now.
Yeah, Charlie is our tissue raccoon. So he's always smelling around. So, and then, I see that you have Indy there.
Yeah, he was also difficult because I had to make him sit. He did that, But then Susie got up and started like, "Oh, you need me," and just got in the
Right.
way. Then I had to move her,
Of course you
and
did.
then Indy was in the way. But I knew I was gonna cut her
Right.
off, so it was kind of fine anyway.
So I think you did a great job. So that is the last installment of our people, or no, our people, our pets as people. We all hope that you enjoyed watching Jenny's artwork and listening to her tell the stories of how she came up with the ideas for our pets. As I have said before, we are in the process of launching her channel, and of course, I will let you know when it is ready to go. I appreciate all the kind comments that you have left her. Words of encouragement is just made her little artistic heart pitter patter with happiness. It's really given her a boost that it's not just mom and dad that love her artwork, it's people like you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see ya.